All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's jump into it.
Next, let's take you to the situation in Iran, where demonstrations over the cost of living have stretched
Cost of
into a
living.
third day. On Sunday and Monday, it was shopkeepers who led the protests, triggered by a drop in the value of the rial and inflation. Today, students have joined
Inflation.
those in the streets, with unrest reported at universities in Tehran and in the central city of Isfahan.
Okay.
Well, Philip Turl is our foreign editor today, and he's been looking into this story. Philip, just tell us, first of all, how bad the situation is at the moment for shopkeepers.
It's bad, Nadia. The bottom line is that the fall in the value of the rial has made life very difficult. And to sum it up, there's a video that's gone viral that was filmed on a mobile phone that has been seen by thousands across Iran and brought more people out into the street, where you see a young shopkeeper in the street. You can see the video here, who is sitting there opposite the police who've been sent out to put down the protests.
And a mob.
Obviously with nothing left to lose, because he can't make ends meet, can't keep his business running, and he's sitting in the middle of the street. We don't know what's happened to him afterwards. But I think a lot of sympathizers in Iran have said, look, this situation can't go on, and we're going to turn out to support him, which is something, of course, that is a total anathema to the regime in Iran, which has regularly put down protests in the past. There have been calls by the Iranian regime for the demands of the protesters to be listened to, notably from the president, Masoud Pezeshkian, and the parliamentary speaker, Mohammed Bagher Ghalibaf, but no comment so far from the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Now, what is this all about? Well, you mentioned a couple of points in your introduction. The first one is the fall in the value of the rial, the currency of Iran, which has gone spiraling downwards compared to the US dollar. Here are a few facts for you. Back in July 2015, it was 32,000 rial to $1. Today, it's 1.42 million rial to $1, which basically means for each dollar's worth of goods that's bought into the country, there's been this massive increase in the cost in rial, which means people just can't afford to buy anything. They can't even afford a phone cover in plastic, which you or I will be able to buy for next to nothing here in Paris. So that's why these shopkeepers say we can't sell any goods. We're seeing our livelihood go down the drain. People can't afford to buy
anything
what they need to survive, and the situation is getting out of control.
Guys, the fact that he even pointed out that the supreme leader has not come forward and said anything about this. Why would he? You have to understand this here. This has nothing to do with him. He's comfortable, bro. Him and the cohort that basically surrounds the supreme leader of Iran, they're comfortable. They don't have to deal with any of these things here that the regular, basically peasants, for the most part, are having to deal with on a regular basis here, guys. Unfortunately, when it comes down to um, their currency is apparently backed off of their oil, and they are under heavy sanctions by the United States of America and other Western countries, along with Russia. If you want to specifically be the arm, for the most part, that Russia calls on occasionally, let's just say, or utilizes their missiles, right? What are you expecting here? How about this? De-ally yourself, okay, with the adversary of the West. If you want to, if you want to get better, if you want to come back to reality here, Iran needs to be our friend, bro. Right? If you want that to happen, you have to de-ally yourself with our literal adversaries. You saying, hold on, wait. Trump just added sanctions. Yeah, guy, of course, it's going to keep happening here. Iran is going to consistently get sanctions, just like Russia is going to consistently get sanctions. Guys, understand why the BRICS currency was so popular. About a year or 2 years ago, guys. Why do you think it was so popular? It's because they wanted to basically find a way where they can create their own currency that had nothing to do with any, I guess, no ability for the United States of America to basically sanction them. They wanted to get out of our system. That's what this is here, right? I mean, listen, when it comes down to their specific currency, though, under the sanctions, of course, their currency is going to drop and going to plummet, and And Trump is going to add fuel to the fire by adding as many sanctions as humanly possible throughout the day, most likely, as you guys were stating here in the comments.
So that's the first point. The second point, if that wasn't bad enough, is that inflation is also high in Iran.
It's high everywhere.
42% overall, 72% for food and going up, and the same for medical items at 50%, according to the Iranian State Statistics Center, which all in all, according to economists, is approaching hyperinflation in Iran. So all of these factors brought together have meant that people are fed up with the situation. They want the regime to do something about it. They say officials have offered no support so far, and they also fear that there could be tax increases in March at the start of the Iranian New Year.
I can imagine.
The fall of oil revenue is very important, and so the only way out of this is for the regime to put up taxes, which of course they say they won't be able to pay. So that's why we've seen this spread of protests around the country over the last couple of days.
That's going to be bigger.
A really serious economic situation, near hyperinflation, you say, Philip, and a drop
Zimbabwe
in the
levels.
Rial. Why is the economic situation just so bad?
Well, you don't need to look very far, Nadia. I mean, if you think about all the sanctions that have been imposed on Iran over the years, that's nothing new. Basically, to stop Iran from developing its nuclear deterrent. This is something that Iran has always said it's not going to do. It did sign that nuclear deal back in 2015, which led to the lifting of some of the sanctions. But after the US pulled out in 2018, Iran went back to enriching uranium. And those sanctions have been reimposed since then, just more recently by the United Nations, which has caused more hardship on not only the regime, but also, of course, on the people of Iran.
No,
so
we're not going
that's
to.
the first point. And I think there's also concern in many circles about what exactly Israel and the United States are going to do next, whether or not there is a plan to launch more bombing raids on Iran or not. Donald Trump has been warning about that, saying if Iran doesn't stop enriching uranium, then there could be more attacks in the near future. So I think that also is destabilizing the markets and causing more hardship for the people of Iran. These are the biggest protests we've seen in the country since those against the regime following the death of Mahsa Amini, that young Iranian woman who was killed, beaten to death for not properly wearing a headscarf back in 2022.
So that's not that. Oh, okay. Right. Like, understand this here. Another reason why the Supreme Leader just does not care here, he utilizes his base of people only when he needs to make a global political type of video message, if that makes any sense here. Look at how the people of Iran are supporting me and my causes, that type of thing here. So he utilizes them for the most part like they're toys here. Now, if you know basically that we're all under some type of absolute crazy inflationary event, specifically in Iran, why would you then say we're going to raise taxes because our oil revenue is lower? Basically what the Supreme Leader is basically saying is, I want more steak on my table, okay? And I don't care that you can't afford rent. Pay me more money. What do you mean here? I can't deal at all under any circumstance with any bit of my money faltering. That's basically the vibe of what I get from this, guys, okay? It's just going to get worse. And of course, the United States of America basically sees it. And what is it that they're going to say here, guys? They're going to say, let's add more fuel to the fire. Let's go ahead and plummet their currency even more. All right. Let's go ahead and show specifically the Supreme Leader, right? Mullahs, right? And the whole cohort of people, right? Let's show them immediately that we're the ones that run things. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Trump, at least, because Trump's just being Trump, bro. Right? Trump is just being Trump in this context here. He's going to add more fuel, period, bro.
Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.